The British summer social calendar is a grand and intricate tapestry woven from centuries of unyielding tradition, strict etiquette, and unparalleled pageantry. Yet beneath the pristine surface of these highly choreographed gatherings lies a dynamic world of evolving personal narratives and shifting familial dynamics. As the morning mist clears over the immaculate lawns of Berkshire, an undeniable electric anticipation fills the air, signaling the arrival of an event that transcends mere sport to become a living theater of high society and royal legacy. For generations, this specific week in June has served as the ultimate stage where the public gaze converges with the private world of the monarchy, transforming a historic racecourse into an arena of intense scrutiny, fashion definitions, and profound symbolic transitions. It is a place where every glance is analyzed, every sartorial choice carries historical meaning, and the arrival of the royal convoy marks the official commencement of a season defined by both historical continuity and subtle, fascinating change. The atmosphere is thick with a sense of history in the making, as attendees from across the globe gather to witness not just the thundering pursuit of thoroughbred excellence, but the visual manifestation of a family's ongoing journey through modern times. To truly understand the sheer weight of this spectacle, one must look back to the very origins of the Royal Ascot procession, a grand tradition that recently celebrated its historic bicentennial milestone and traces its roots directly to the grand vision of King George IV in the early 19th century. When the first horse-drawn carriages traveled down the famous Straight Mile in 1825, accompanied by figures as monumental as the Duke of Wellington, a precedent was set that firmly bound the British crown to the beating heart of equestrian culture and elite social life. Over the subsequent 2 centuries, this annual pilgrimage has evolved into an unyielding anchor of the royal calendar, surviving shifting eras, global transformations, and the personal triumphs and tragedies of the reigning family. The late Queen Elizabeth II famously elevated this connection to an art form, channeling her profound lifelong passion for thoroughbred breeding and racing into a 70-year legacy that yielded more than 20 historic winners on this very turf, ensuring that her memory remains permanently woven into the fabric of the grandstands. Today, that legacy is carried forward with equal reverence, making the event a crucial barometer for the monarchy's public face and its internal alignments. As the gates swing open on this exceptionally bright afternoon, the massive crowd of hundreds of thousands of spectators stands bathed in brilliant sunshine, creating a vibrant, swirling sea of top hats, traditional morning suits, and spectacular haute couture millinery that conforms to the most rigorous dress codes in the sporting world. The atmosphere is an intoxicating blend of champagne corks popping, the distant murmur of high-stakes wagers being placed, and the sharp, rhythmic clip-clop of majestic horses approaching the paddock. A sensory experience that has remained remarkably unchanged through the passage of many decades. Yet, despite the familiar rhythms of the day and the reassuring presence of King Charles III and Queen Camilla leading the vanguard, experienced observers can immediately feel that this particular gathering carries a unique resonance, a distinct sense that a fresh, unwritten chapter of contemporary history is being unveiled right before their eyes. If you find yourself completely captivated by the intricate inner workings, the hidden details, and the sweeping narratives of the world's most famous dynasties as they navigate the modern world, take a brief moment now to subscribe to our channel and join a growing community dedicated to exploring these timeless sagas in unparalleled depth. Within this grand arena, where the monarch and senior members of the household passionately gesture toward the track, brandishing racing guides and sharing light-hearted moments with trusted confidants, the focus often shifts from the seasoned veterans of the royal circuit to the subtle introductions that gently redefine the public's perception of the family structure. The summer season represents a fascinating intersection where traditional state duties meet deeply personal milestones and where the inclusion of new individuals into the inner circle is signaled not by formal proclamations or press releases, but by their highly visible placement within the coveted horse-drawn carriages. This year, the underlying excitement surrounding the opening day is amplified tenfold by a recent deeply private event that took place just less than 2 weeks prior in the picturesque, rolling hills of the Cotswolds. A quiet, romantic ceremony that stood in stark contrast to the massive public display unfolding today. That intimate gathering, shielded beautifully from the relentless glare of international media, set the stage for a spectacular public debut that would capture the imagination of royal enthusiasts and fashion critics alike, perfectly illustrating how the institution gracefully integrates new personal stories into its grand historic lineage. As the procession enters the main paddock around 2 in the afternoon, passing beneath the watchful eyes of society's elite and international tastemakers. The arrangement of the carriages tells a story of its own, blending strict seniority with joyous, fresh beginnings. While the first carriage naturally commands the immediate attention of the crowds with the sovereign leading the way, it is often the subsequent coaches that hold the true keys to the future and showcase the expanding warmth and inclusivity of the royal family network. On this day, as the brilliant summer sunlight reflects off polished leather, gleaming wood, and pristine silks, a tangible sense of joy and genuine celebration emanates from the royal party, mirroring the animated displays of previous generations while carving out a distinct, modern identity for the present era. The stage is perfectly set. The tension and curiosity among the spectators are building beautifully, and as the horses pull to a graceful, synchronized halt in the paddock, the world prepares to look much closer at a remarkable debut that signifies pride, modern love, and a complete, elegant embrace of a demanding new role within the very heart of the British monarchy. The rhythmic roar of the massive crowd reached a spectacular crescendo as the second horse-drawn carriage rolled gracefully into the sun-drenched paddock, immediately drawing every pair of binoculars and camera lens toward its smiling occupants. Basking thoroughly in the warm, golden glow of their status as newlyweds, Peter Phillips, the 48-year-old eldest grandson of the late Queen Elizabeth II, and his beautiful new bride, Harriet Sperling, effectively stole the show, making their highly anticipated official debut as a married couple before the watchful eyes of the entire world. The 45-year-old National Health Service pediatric nurse specialist looked the absolute picture of refined elegance and timeless sophistication, perfectly embodying the regal aesthetic required for such a momentous public introduction, swapping the quiet intimacy of her recent bridal carriage for the historic grandeur of a royal landau, the new Mrs. Peter Phillips exuded a natural, relaxed confidence that completely belied the immense pressure of the global spotlight, signaling to all onlookers that she was stepping into her new responsibilities within the prominent family with immense grace, poise, and dignity. Every singular detail of her carefully curated appearance was met with widespread admiration from the assembled style critics and fashion historians, who recognized the subtle nod to traditional British craftsmanship and modern luxury. Harriet wore an exquisite flowing Susanna London blue silk Biarritz dress, a choice that beautifully complemented the bright, cloudless summer sky, pairing the ensemble effortlessly with cream Jimmy Choo slingback heels that added a touch of contemporary flair to the classic silhouette. To complete her stunning look, she selected a mini Mena teardrop-style blue straw hat, featuring intricate, delicate floral detailing that sat perfectly amidst the warm summer breeze, alongside an elegant selection of fine jewelry pieces, including a matching bracelet and drop earrings, meticulously crafted by the esteemed and historic British jeweler Pragnell. Aside from the gleaming new wedding ring resting on her left hand, the most fascinating and charming hint at her recent nuptials came via the sky blue Anya Hindmarch clutch bag she carried with pride, which was beautifully embroidered with her brand new initials, HP, a subtle but deeply impactful public declaration of her new identity. Seated directly beside her in the pristine carriage was her new mother-in-law, Princess Anne, the 75-year-old Princess Royal, who appeared absolutely delighted to be sharing this landmark milestone with her new daughter-in-law, putting to rest any lingering public curiosity about the family's internal response to this fast-moving romance. Dressed in a striking, vibrant striped dress paired with a wide-brimmed green hat, Princess Anne looked thoroughly invested in the conversation, chatting warmly and laughing frequently with Harriet as the carriage made its way through the cheering ranks of spectators. This open display of genuine affection and easy camaraderie provided a powerful visual confirmation of Harriet's seamless integration into the inner circles of the household, a sentiment further reinforced by the presence of the Queen's nephew, Sir Ben Elliot, who sat comfortably next to Peter Phillips in the same coach, rounding out a picture of complete familial unity and joy. Peter himself cut an exceptionally dashing and traditional figure in his formal morning suit, complete with an immaculate top hat and tails. His face practically beaming with a mixture of profound pride and pure happiness as he shared this legendary summer calendar event with his new wife, in a fascinating and quite significant break from long-standing royal tradition. The 48-year-old groom chose to wear a simple, polished gold wedding band on his finger, a highly visible token that signified his deep pride in his newlywed status, and a departure from the habits of many men in British aristocratic and royal circles. High-profile figures within the family, most notably Prince William, have historically chosen not to wear the rings exchanged on their wedding days, making Peter's decision a modern, romantic statement that did not go unnoticed by sharp-eyed commentators. Once the formality of the carriage procession concluded and the party arrived safely in the exclusive royal stands, the happy couple shared a wonderfully tender, private moment amidst the bustle, raising a chilled glass of champagne to toast their new life together before diving enthusiastically into the afternoon's high-stakes sporting action. Harriet looked entirely at ease, sipping the famous racetrack beverage and blending effortlessly with the senior members of the household, including King Charles and Queen Camilla, who had previously extended an exceptionally warm and welcoming embrace to the couple during their initial joint appearance back in 2025. The day, however, was far from a solitary affair, as the opening of the festival drew a magnificent gathering of the extended family, all eager to participate in the joyous atmosphere and support the newly married couple. Zara and Mike Tyndall were among the very first members of the family to arrive on the Berkshire grounds, immediately turning heads and setting a high standard for the day's fashion. Zara, the accomplished equestrian and daughter of Princess Anne, looked exceptionally glamorous in a custom lavender Rebecca Valance belt dress, which she paired with a striking matching fascinator, pale heels, and a luxurious Anya Hindmarch shell-pink Mortimer clutch bag, a highly coveted accessory that retails for over £1,100. To accessorize her warm-weather look, she selected a pair of dazzling purple and gold drop earrings and a pair of characterful, oversized couture sunglasses to shield her eyes from the brilliant sun. Her husband, former England rugby captain Mike Tyndall, perfectly matched her color scheme by wearing a blue waistcoat paired with a sharp pink tie, topped off with the mandatory top hat required by the strict royal enclosure dress code. Looking relaxed as he shared a hearty joke with the king and queen near the paddock. As the afternoon progressed, the sheer scale of the event became apparent, with the king presenting the prestigious King Charles III Stakes trophy, while the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester took charge of the Coventry Stakes, and Princess Anne handled the presentations for the St. James's Palace Stakes. Amidst these heavy official duties, Harriet was spotted enjoying a long, animated conversation with her new sister-in-law, Zara Tyndall, the two women laughing easily and demonstrating a close, supportive bond that will undoubtedly serve as a strong foundation for Harriet as she navigates her future within the royal framework. When the actual racing got underway, the newlyweds appeared thoroughly invested in the dramatic action playing out on the course below, echoing the iconic, highly animated displays put on by the late Queen Elizabeth II. Harriet could not hide her intense emotion, gesturing passionately toward the track alongside Peter, as the thoroughbreds charged fiercely toward the finish line, their shared excitement mirroring the infectious energy of the monarch and Queen Camilla, who cheered on their own favored horses, with Charles enthusiastically brandishing his official racing guide in the air. To truly appreciate the profound significance of this radiant summer debut, one must look closely at the remarkable journey of the woman who has so gracefully captured the heart of the 20th individual in the line of succession to the historic British throne. Born Harriet Eleanor Sanders to Mary Hoskins and Rupert Sanders, the 45-year-old mother of one has dedicated her professional life to a noble and deeply demanding calling, serving with immense distinction as a specialist pediatric nurse within the National Health Service. This background of profound public service, empathy, and hands-on care brings a refreshing, grounded perspective to her new position, earning her widespread respect and admiration from both the public and her new family members. Furthermore, Harriet boasts her own quiet, historic connections to the upper echelons of British society. Through her late father, Rupert Sperling, she shares a distant but meaningful ancestral relation to the Duke of Gloucester, ensuring that the world of tradition and heritage is not entirely foreign to her. Having navigated the complexities of a previous divorce, much like Peter himself, Harriet's story is a beautiful testament to finding love and a profound sense of purpose anew in mature adulthood. A narrative that resonates deeply with modern audiences worldwide, the romantic journey that led to this spectacular afternoon began in earnest in May of 24, when Peter Phillips first found love with the dedicated nurse, establishing a deep, unshakable bond that quickly grew to encompass their respective families and children. The relationship reached a beautiful milestone in August of 25, when Peter popped the question with a magnificent, sparkling diamond ring that featured a subtle, deeply moving tribute to his beloved grandmother, the late Queen Elizabeth II. In an exceptionally thoughtful gesture, the ring was meticulously designed and crafted by the very same historic British jeweler responsible for creating the late Queen's iconic 1946 engagement ring, creating an unbroken thread of memory, respect, and continuity. When the engagement was officially announced to the international public, both families issued a heartfelt statement expressing their absolute delight, setting the stage for what would become one of the most heartwarming, deeply celebrated private weddings in recent royal history. Bringing together a vast network of close friends, high society figures, and senior royals, that long-awaited big day arrived less than 2 weeks before their brilliant appearance at Ascot, when the happy couple tied the knot during an incredibly beautiful and intimate ceremony at All Saints' Church. Nestled in the quiet village of Kemble, near Cirencester, located just a short distance from Princess Anne's historic estate at Gatcombe Park, as the historic church bells rang out across the picturesque Gloucestershire countryside, an enthusiastic crowd of around 300 passionate well-wishers and local residents gathered outside, cheering loudly to celebrate the union. Despite the unpredictable British weather threatening to dampen the spirits, the assembled wedding guests quickly formed an impromptu, joyful umbrella guard of honor, allowing the beaming bride and groom to emerge virtually dry for their initial official photographs. The stunning bride looked absolutely breathtaking in a classic white Amelia Wickstead gown, her long, elegant wedding train held aloft by 3 beautiful bridesmaids, her own 14-year-old daughter Georgina, and Peter's daughters, 14-year-old Isla and 15-year-old Savannah, who all looked the picture of youthful elegance in matching floral garlands and white dresses from the same designer. The exclusive guest list for this intimate countryside wedding read like a who's who of the contemporary monarchy, demonstrating the immense love and respect the entire family holds for Peter and his new bride. The joyous celebration was attended by King Charles and Queen Camilla, the Prince and Princess of Wales, and the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, alongside Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie with their respective husbands, Edoardo Mapelli Mosey and Jack Brooksbank, making it a truly landmark family gathering. Following the moving religious service, the newlyweds made their grand exit from the church grounds in a beautiful vintage Rolls-Royce, drawing immense cheers from the gathered crowds. Shortly before, Prince William and Princess Catherine were driven off in a sleek black Audi with a professional police escort close behind. The celebratory party then moved to a magnificent reception held at Gatcombe Park, the private home of the Princess Royal and Vice Admiral Sir Timothy Lawrence, where Peter's longtime childhood friend, Mr. Andrew Tucker, served proudly as the right-hand man and best man, raising a toast to a future filled with happiness, stability, and love as the late afternoon sun begins to dip below the grandstands at Berkshire, casting long, elegant shadows across the immaculate green turf. The wider significance of this day becomes completely clear to all who follow the evolution of the British crown. This spectacular opening day of the summer meet was not merely about the thrill of the sport. The historic handshake shared between the king and the winning jockey Kieran Showmark after the Queen Anne Stakes, or the lively family conversations between Queen Camilla and her food critic's son, Tom Parker Bowles. Rather, it marked a definitive, harmonious turning point for a family that has always understood the immense power of visual representation and unity in times of modern transition. By placing the new Mrs. Peter Phillips prominently within the traditional carriage procession, alongside senior working members of the household, like the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester, the institution has signaled its full, unconditional embrace of a dedicated healthcare professional into its innermost circle. It is a striking visual reminder that while the grand traditions of the past remain completely unyielding, the heart of the monarchy continues to expand, welcoming new stories,